Credits to Al Jazeera for that clip. No, this is nothing new to Mexico or the Mexican people in general. Gang war, drugs war, just another normal day in Mexico. However, this shows us again and again, time and time, that you can't allow gangs to operate and feel as if they are the ones in authority and they decide when to keep the peace, when to stir up the violence. This is definitely not a crime fighting strategy. And even though the president of Mexico wants to lay partial blame on the US government, yes, because yes, Uncle Sam, of course, meddle into every other country's affairs. So yes, however, the leaders in Mexico have to take accountability. And we have the blueprint. The blueprint is right there for everyone to see with what Nayib Bukele has done in El Salvador, making El Salvador the country with the lowest murder rate in the Western Hemisphere. Lowest, imagine that. El Salvador, which was once the murder capital of the world, is now the country with the lowest murder rate in the Western Hemisphere. And we saw the strategies that Nayib Bukele employed. Mass incarceration. You know, those who are directly and those who are indirectly involved with the gangs. He clamped down very hard on them. He built a new prison which can house over 40,000 prisoners. He separated the different gangs and the different sectors and have strict rules within those walls. They couldn't have any outside communication. They couldn't be forming cliques and getting stronger while they were behind bars. And we see where the murder rate plummeted in El Salvador, now making it one of the safest countries in the Western Hemisphere. So we have the blueprint of what is needed to be done. Of course, it is not perfect. We know, yes, it may have a few persons who are not involved, may get incarcerated, but that is the price you have to pay if you actually care about the citizens of your country. And it's the same with Jamaica. We think that we can do some social intervention, have some social program, you know, have some peace treaty and the optics and, you know, the leaders of different gangs and different factions, they can come together and they can, you know, we can all sit at a table and talk and have a round table talk and do some restorative practices and whatever. No, brethren, that is not an effective crime fighting strategy. You have to eradicate these gangs, either by will or by force. It's either you're going to incarcerate them for a long period of time, and while incarcerated, they have no contact with the outside world. They have no contact with people within the prison system, where they can also farm new allegiance behind the walls. Those are the things that you have to implement. You have manga prison in Jamaica that end up turning stronger and more influential than they were outside. A man can stay in prison and send out hits upon top of hits upon top of hits. What kind of nation is that? When you're incarcerated, it's a form of punishment. But these guys are not feeling any type of punishment if you can use a phone, if you can send out hits, if you can farm new allegiance. That's not punishment. It's like a vacation, because their enemies cannot get to them. Meanwhile, they can continue to use the foot soldiers to get to their enemies. So Jamaica have to take a deeper look. You know, stop trying to please Uncle Sam and all of these foreign interests. What about pleasing your citizens? You owe your citizens. When you take up office, you take up an office of service, an office of servitude. You should be serving the people of your country, not serving your own interests and your own pockets and your foreign masters, but the people of Jamaica. It's the government. I think people really got this thing wrong, you know. It's the government that should be working for us. We are the employers, the citizens of Jamaica. We are the employers of the government. The government should be working on our behalf, on our interests, and it should also be implementing strategies and plans to make the place safer and more prosperous. What kind of society is this? Where you can have gangs and members of gangs going to prison and only strengthening the gang. It is absolute madness. That's how I see it. So, we have to take a closer look at what goes on in the international space and see how that can impact Jamaica and use that as our blueprint. I will always use Nayib Bukele as the example. Why? Because everything aligns. If you look at El Salvador and you look at Jamaica, in most of the metric, it aligns. High murder rate, etc. So we have to look at these strategies if we actually care about the citizens of Jamaica. So let me know your thoughts and comments down in the comment section. Remember to like, share and subscribe to Iron Media Jamaica. Until next time.